What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. I got Matt Brown, UFC legend, the Immortal himself, coming on in just a bit. I'm here with Brian on the ones and twos.
How are
It's
you?
pretty good. How you doing? How you doing?
How you doing?
Pretty stoked on this UFC card. So it's a special Fight Buddies edition of the Jasta show coming at you the night before. This card is stacked. Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor in the main event. Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Thompson,
Yep.
who Matt Brown has a win over. Okay, don't fucking
Is that
forget.
Stephen Thompson, right?
Yep, the Wonder Boy, who I like.
Yeah. No,
Great,
I
great.
like Wonder Boy. I don't know if he's gonna win.
Dude, a lot of people are picking Wonder Boy. Kamosi just hit me up. He's picking Wonder Boy over Gilbert.
Okay.
I know. Tai Tuvasa versus Greg Hardy. That's not going the distance.
No, Greg
Listen,
Hardy's gonna knock him out.
You think?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Listen, UFC head-to-heads on DraftKings. Hit me up, Jasta 1997. Also in the main event, or in the on the main card, Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. I like that one. I might. Is Kunitskaya a live dog here at plus 100?
Oh man, maybe. I think she's pretty good. I think she's pretty good to win it.
Sean O'Malley versus Chris Mutino, who doesn't even have a picture up here,
Dog
so he must be a
food.
last minute.
No, he's just a tune-up for Sean.
Plus 525 dog money there.
He's gonna get knocked out immediately.
Yeah, they need a highlight finish. They're setting him up. They're feeding him up of what do you call that a sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, no
He's
shit.
getting lamb chops.
Yeah, like
O'Malley's
I don't think
getting
Sean
those-
O'Malley's a top 5 dude yet, but anyone under that is probably gonna get smoked by him.
Okay. Well, good to know. And listen, today's episode is brought to you by Cameo. Cameo is the place to go if you want shout outs, birthday wishes, anniversary, congratulations, whatever it is. And I'm on there. You could get so many people are on there, right? We got to get Bisping on there. We got to,
He hates
you know what I mean?
people.
there's a bunch of people on there. One of my favorites is Sebastian Bach, and he'll do like a
wild.
12-minute cameo, but his costs like $500.
Well, yeah.
So, and D Snyder's on there, Ice T is on there, I'm on there. Cameo.com/Jasta. Use the code Jamie10 if you want to save 10%. I know I'm a little backed up on the cameos right now, but I'm gonna get to it this weekend. So if you got a birthday coming up, or you got some sort of event coming up and you want to shout out, or you, even if it's just a release for your band or your business, hit me up, cameo.com/Jasta. Use the code Jamie10. Today's episode is also brought to you by Indie Merch Store. If you want to go to indiemerchstore.com and check out all the new merch from Cannibal Corpse to Die Art is Murder. Maybe you can show some stuff on screen here, Brian, but I don't know.
Sure.
They have a huge new selection of pre-orders. And I just love indiemerchstore.com, and you will too, for all your death metal, hardcore, murder metal. There's like 50 bands with the name murder in their name, with the word murder in their name. If you go to indiemerchstore.com. And I got to thank the Mad Russian. If you are watching this on YouTube, hit the like, hit the subscribe. This is my favorite right now, Moscow Nights beard oil. I will send you some of this, Brian, to put in that lovely ginger beard. And in just a few minutes, we got Matt Brown, UFC legend and all-around badass. He's joining us. And I want to thank the Mad Russian Apothecary for sponsoring the show. We'll have to send Matt some of this stuff too. This is they got a website now too, right? Because I think you'll put it in the show notes.
We were putting up the Etsy link before.
The Etsy link, and shout out to Etsy. Do you own Etsy stock?
No, should I?
Dude, I made some money on Etsy in the beginning of the pandemic, but it's been up and down. But go to the madrussianapothecary.com for all your beard oil and balm, and they got some new podiatrist.
Well, we're moving them up the ladder here. They were an Etsy store, do some ads on the Jasta show. Now you got a whole blown up website.
Yeah, they should have used my Wix link though, right? Wix.
I don't know if that's active anymore.
And also today's episode is also brought to you by Revel 8, a great streetwear brand that we love and support. And you should too. Go to rebel8.com, use the promo code JJ20 right now. You'll save 20%. We got Matt Brown joining us. It looks like he's on here. I think you got to unmute him.
Five buddies, five buddies, five buddies. We like violence. Five buddies, five buddies, five buddies. Welcome to the Fight Buddy Show.
So Matt, you got headphones on? Can you hear me?
I don't have headphones, but I can hear you good. Yeah. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we got you good. Welcome, bro. Good to see you, man. Congrats on the last performance in the octagon. You looked great.
Thank you.
I was screaming at my TV.
Nice. I know it's been a while, huh?
Yeah, it has. And you know what? On the last episode with Kamosi, I was telling him about how I felt bad that I didn't go out with you after Warp Tour, and that we could have went out and raged, but I was you had that look in your eye, and you were like, "Yo, let's go out tonight after the show." And I was like, I haven't touched booze, I think it's 16 years now, almost 17 years. But if I had gone out with you that night after the Warp Tour,
might have got down, huh?
It might have gotten crazy because
all right.
I think you were ready, and I was like, "Get me out of this fucking bus on this tour where I'm shitting in porta potties every morning." And
hey, that was cool though to see the experience backstage, man.
Yeah, so, that was the last time you were on the podcast, I think.
That might have been, yeah. But that was cool as shit, man. Like being backstage, when you're in the crowd, man, it's a completely different experience. You go backstage and everybody's just cool and relaxed, man. But that was when we had like Kamosi and me on the podcast, right? Or you had like the big group and everything. That was cool, man.
Yeah, we were offering the experience to the fans too to come backstage and be on the podcast, which was fun. Don't get me wrong, I loved the tour. The tour was fun, but after you haven't done it for 20 years, the last time we did the Warped Tour was 98 with Rancid and Kid Rock and Deftones.
Oh shit.
So
have you done live show since the pandemic shit?
No, but we have a big announcement Tuesday. I wish I could say it now, but this is going out tonight at midnight. So that way, because we're going to talk about tomorrow's card.
Spill the beans
and stuff. I wish I could spill the beans. I'll text you and I'll let you know. Cause you're in Denver still?
No, I'm back in Columbus, Ohio, my home.
Well, I think it's going to Ohio too. When did you go back to Ohio?
Man, it was like 2-3 years ago now.
Okay. Yeah, see, that's what I thought that too, because I always see yours and Jeremy's posts, and I was like, oh, maybe he is back in Ohio.
Yeah, because I was just out in Denver like temporarily. It was like a muscle farm thing. They were helping a lot of fighters, putting together a team, and it was always a temporary thing for me. But I fucking love Denver, man. Amazing place. Like, you ever played at Red Rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what a great venue, right?
Played there with Slayer.
Dude, come on. The dream come true, right?
It was crazy. It was crazy. People were mad that I was bummed that there was nowhere for people to pit.
Yeah.
And they were like, they're like, dude, it's Red Rocks. Don't even say that. I'm like, no, I get it, but it'd be cooler if they like just cut out these first like 10 rows and made it flat so people could mosh. And they were like, what? Like, that was like sacrilege to say that.
That is, man. Like Slayer and Hatebreed and no moshing, like, doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. And their label was there because we were on an indie label, and their label was there. We were kind of showcasing for their label, American. And because we were trying to get off the indie label, get on a major label to get the real distribution and the real video budgets and really step it up. And their label was there. And I was like, man, now they're not going to see like the right crowd reaction. They're just going to see these people in the stands sitting there with their drinks, but they should see the violence and the people stage diving and shit. But it was still cool. And the guys backstage who work there, the whole staff there, they know the legendary status of the venue, and they tell you about they'll walk you through like the different hallways and stuff and tell you about the different photos of those shows being played live. It's cool.
That's sick, right? I seen Mastodon there.
Nice.
That was the first time I've seen them. They're probably my favorite band of all time. And finally got to see them there. And I think they were opening for Primus that tour, which was really awkward. You know, I thought, I don't know what everybody else thought, but I was like, Mastodon, Primus are like two different worlds, you know?
Yeah, it's one's like that sort of classic alternative metal, alternative rock. I don't even. Yeah, I guess Primus is uncategorizable, right? Like they're their own. They're an island, whereas Mastodon is definitely that sort of doomy, rocky, sludgy. I mean, they're kind of an island too. But did the crowds mix, or could you tell who was there to see who?
Definitely tell who was there to see what, right? Because Mastodon went on first, and a bunch of people left right after.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
That was my kids' first concert. My boys, they were 7 at the time, and I wanted to bring them to see Primus because they like Primus, but I was like, you guys got to come early and see Mastodon, you know?
Yeah,
so that was a pretty cool experience, you know.
That I wonder how many people in that audience were on mushrooms.
In Denver, everybody. Like, you smell the weed everywhere. You know, like, I don't even smoke weed, but like these guys, man, in Denver, every fucking left lane, everybody's driving 55. I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, it's a left lane. Like, put down the fucking joint, get in the right lane. So
Paranoid and not getting pulled over. Does it mean less accidents though, or do people get distracted, or they're too high and they still get into accidents?
that's a good question. I don't know, man. I just drove to the gym and back, you know, but I was like, I swear to God, I never seen so much left lane 55 in my life, man. Like, that's a bunch of shit, bro.
That venue, I remember I was backstage and I asked the guy about Tom Petty, and I don't want to say anything ill of the dead or whatever, but basically he told me, I'll just paraphrase. He basically said Tom Petty was partying when he would go to Red Rocks.
Nice. That's
and I thought,
right?
I mean, I wish I got to see Tom Petty. That's one of my biggest regrets. And D. Snyder was just breaking my balls like, Tom Petty's not metal. And I was like, I don't know, dude. Petty's kind of some of his songs are kind of metal. If you really break it down, that Running Down a Dream is hard.
Damn. I never heard nobody say that before, man. I heard, I think you were arguing with Brett Hines, I think, right? Like, he was saying, like, Judas Priest isn't metal.
Yes.
Right? I thought that
he got so much shit for that.
Yeah. I thought that was strange. I was like, maybe not metal nowadays, like if they released it today, but when they released it, it was metal as fuck, right?
Well, I think he thinks of Judas Priest. He thinks of like Sad Wings of Destiny, or he thinks of, I don't know, but you listen to Painkiller, it's fucking metal. Or even Nostradamus. I'm not really into that record, but I like the last Priest. There's some, or Angel of Retribution. There's some pretty fucking metal.
Dude.
Yeah, Brent. I think he's trying to get a rise out of people, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like him. I don't know him, but it sounds like the type of guy he would be, right?
Oh, if you guys met, I don't know what would happen. I don't know. It might be like two cavemen reuniting, and like it'd be glorious, or he would try to like hit you in the balls, which I've seen him do to people. Like, I've had to get him out of situations.
I know the type of people will be smacking your balls. I don't like that shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fight for me, man.
Yeah. Adam Deuce from Machine Head was going to kill him. I had to get him out of there.
Well, if Death covers your song, you're fucking metal.
That's true.
They cover your song, you're fucking metal.
And that's a great version where they really put their own take on it, right? Off of Sound of Perseverance. Yeah, that one I was impressed with. I bought that in the store the day it came out.
Me too. I drove to fucking the record store to buy that CD, man. I was like 16, you know? Like,
so great. The cover is sick.
Yeah. But I remember driving home and listening to it. They changed a lot. I mean, Death changed just about every record, but that one was a huge change. And I was really shocked, man. Like, damn, not as much, I guess, growling or whatever, like a lot of the higher pitch stuff. And like way more progressive, but I fucking loved it, man. I just loved it. I mean, I don't think they'll ever, or I don't think he ever could have done what he did with Human, but you know, you don't want to hear the same record every time either, right? And I loved every change he ever did, man.
Me too. I randomly Pull the Plug came up on a playlist, on one of the death metal playlists, and I got kind of bummed at first because it made me think about when I booked them, and Chuck should get more, rest in peace, Chuck. He should get more credit for bridging the gaps between the subgenres, because when I booked them, he requested Hammerfall be the opener on the whole tour, and they were sort of power metal, high falsetto vocals, and he kind of was forward thinking in that mindset of like, yeah, let's get another crowd in here and let's show the musicianship and let's show the talent of everybody, and screaming, whether it's the low guttural style that he did early on or the high screaming, the high pitched kind of style that he did later on, that also takes talent, but people kind of write it off. You know, certain fans write it off, from especially the ones that like the Halloween style and that kind of Iron Maiden type of metal style. They're like, oh, those guys are cookie monsters. But yeah, he was really forward thinking and really ahead of his time with all those songs. And when Pull the Plug came on, I was like, damn, this shit is hard. Like I want to cover that with Hatebreed. Maybe if we do another covers record.
Dude, that would be sick, man. That would be sick. If I understand right, I don't, did you know Chuck at all?
I met him just briefly once when I booked that show. Actually, that was, I think, Shadows Fall's first New York City show.
Okay.
They came down, and I think Phil Labonte might have still even been in Shadows Fall at that time.
Nice.
Or Brian just joined, but it was probably 96, 97.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, from what I understand, Chuck didn't really like the metal shit that he did a lot, right? Like he wanted to do the more progressive, almost Megadeth style, I guess. Maybe not Megadeth style, but
I've heard that. I never really read a lot of his interviews or watched a lot of video interviews of him, but I should. I always think, man, what would it be like now if they re-recorded those classic records, if he was still around and stuff? It'd be sick with the new production.
There's a documentary I think on Netflix or Amazon Prime, one or the other, on death. I watched.
How was it? I gotta see that. I'm really backed up on music documentaries. I just watched one on Quiet Riot that came out years ago, and I was bummed that I waited this long to watch it, because they're another one. They deserve more credit than they get.
For sure. Yeah. I think it's a pretty old documentary, because I think it was like right when he died is when they did it. It must have been.
Wow.
Yeah, close to right after he passed away. But it's pretty fascinating, man, because, he had so many different band members and stuff all the time. So I thought it was pretty cool to kind of get the behind the scenes of, what they thought about it, like why they were, in the different situations they were in. I thought it was really cool, man. But I've been a huge Death fan since day one. They were one of the first, like, really heavy bands that I was introduced to as a youngster. There was Slayer, Death, and of course, the guttural Cannibal Corpse and, Deicide, Behemoth, all that. But Death was the one that stuck out to me all the time. I would used to crank that shit. Like, I buy speakers just for Death,
Yeah.
like I had the cassette tapes, man. That's how long ago I was into Death.
Yeah, right on. I know. Can you believe that they cornered they were the first one to really kind of get the name. I mean, I know there was other bands called Death, but to get it and have the best logo and to get albums released before anyone else. I mean, that's like you're how many people wanted to call their band Death? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then everybody called Death Angel, Death Star, Death whatever.
Yes. Yep. Everybody just added to it. But yeah,
they were the forefront, man. Death Clock, everything, man.
Yeah, with no A, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they should get way more credit than they do, and also the logos and the fucking artwork was sick. Like, you go to the store, you didn't even have to hear it. You just saw it and was like, I need this.
Yeah, I still got a Death flag, man. got to hang in my garage gym because that logo is perfect, man.
It's so good. We played with them when they were doing the tour. We played with them in the Czech Republic, and they were great, just doing it kind of like as a tribute show. That was awesome. But I also saw them, I think I saw them with Cynic, which they were kind of like a progressive. They were really progressive type of band. So that kind of does lend to what you were saying about Chuck wanting to, play with more of those progressive type of bands. Yeah. But yeah, I got to see that. I got to look into that.
It was badass, man. Or did you ever listen to his other band, Control Denied?
Yeah, I wasn't super into that, but I love Richard. Actually, Richard just hit me up recently, and if I get Richard back on the podcast, I don't know if the Stern Show lets him do podcasts. He did it when the Charred Walls of the Damned came out, but we didn't really talk about Stern Show stuff. But he's talked about Chuck and Death on the show with Howard.
That's pretty cool, man.
I think, and he was in. I think he did Control Denied, right? Was Richard in Control Denied as well?
I don't even remember. I didn't really get into it much either. I mean, like you can hear Chuck in there, so it's cool. But other than that, I was like, Death is fucking better, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I like hardcore shit, man.
So all the MMA fans that are tuning into this that thought we were just going to talk straight UFC, MMA, they're like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? And then they're going to go listen to Death, and they're either going to have bitch ears and tap out like 5 seconds in, or their lives are going to be changed.
I have an epiphany. Change your life, man. That's what I do. Change motherfuckers' lives. Introduce them to Death and Slayer. Hell
yeah. Speaking of which, Tommy End, shout out to Tommy End. He's in AEW wrestling now, and I got Frankie Kaz is coming out to a Jasta song called Deadly Business, and I've been watching more pro wrestling again, and I saw a Tommy End whose name is Alistair, or can you look it up, Brian? It's something Black
Alistair
in
Black.
AEW. No, he was Alistair something in WWE, but in AEW, it's Malachi Black. It's got a different name. The name thing confuses me. I know that one organization will copyright a name, and then you got to have a different name in there. But when Malachi Black came in as a heel in AEW, it was cool that he got a bunch of followers and that he was tweeting about heavy music. And like real heavy music, crazy underground, like dark, whatever. And so it's awesome to see the synergy there. More MMA fans are getting into heavy music. More pro wrestling fans are getting, just more people who like any sort of combat sports or entertainment. Do you think? I guess it's a two-part question. What would your name be if you went into pro wrestling? It'd have to be the Immortal, I would think. And then do you think that there's more people getting into heavy music from combat sports?
Man, I'd have a hard time going into pro wrestling, to be honest. Man, it's a painful sport, bro. Very, very painful sport. So that would be a tough one for me, to be honest. But I would absolutely keep the name. Fuck yeah.
It would be badass if you were a heel and start like an NWO type of.
With like, you guys talk to me shit, man. Like I'm not a talker like that. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, I could do this, just one-on-one, or like, just have conversation. Like, I'm a regular dude, but like the whole fucking show and everything, I don't have like the wit for that shit, man. It's just not my style, so I'd have a real hard time with that. I could be like the Undertaker and not really talk much. Like that'd be pretty sick.
Have the manager. Have like the shit talking little manager, like a little short guy who's like a fucking whippersnapper, and you just the hard dude in the back.
Yeah, that would work for me, I think. But in terms of heavy metal, though, fuck, man, that's part of why like I keep walking out to my song that you wrote for me, man. I'm like the energy matches, man. Yeah, I don't know. I probably never even talk about it really, but like my last few fights, every now and then I'm like, I'm like, maybe I should do a different walkout song, you know, because every fight like feels a little different, and I always kind of use my walkout song like, you know, kind of the way that I'm feeling for this fight, or what's, you know, the type of energy that I want. Sometimes I need to calm down, sometimes I need to pump up. But everybody on the UFC staff was like, dude, that's your fucking song. You're a legend, man. And on top of that, like, just like you said, to expose people to that metal, man, and realize, you know, it's not all just killing and Satan worshiping and all that bullshit. And I think, like I told you before, man, Hatebreed had such a fucking impact on my life. You know, I'm gonna keep that song forever. You know, that's just my ode to you, man. Like it's a fucking dream come true to have that song, man, written for me, man. Like that's just like you know, one of those things you dream about when you're a teenager, man. I'm sure there's lots of teenagers out there dreaming about some shit like that. But the lyrics, you know, particularly yours, and I can name some other bands, but to bring that positivity, because I always love metal, you know, but the positivity is like life changing, man. You know, music can be a powerful thing, and I think a lot of people know that, but it can be a very powerful thing. And when you get the right music at the right time with the right person, it can be life changing.
I agree, man. No, thank you. That's high praise coming from you. And dude, I'm telling you, every time you go out there, even if it's when they cut it off a little bit, or they come back from a commercial and you just hear the tail end of it, I'm still so stoked. And it's great because people will tweet me, like, especially when there's a crowd. Obviously, you know, now their crowds are coming back, but before the pandemic, if they didn't televise it, but there were people in the crowd at the event, they would take videos and tweet them at me and stuff, which is super cool. And it's never not cool to me, right? Like, it's never not exciting. Even when some team I don't follow, or some game is happening and they'll play Destroy Everything, or they'll play Live for This over the speaker. Like, if it's a metalhead music supervisor that works at the arena or at the facility, I still get stoked.
I bet you do.
Because that was part of why I really got into heavy music. I don't think if I heard, I did 2 different events. I did a Pilot Pen like tennis open. I remember they played Metallica, and they weren't really supposed to, because they were playing like mellow music, but somebody played it and people started looking around like, oh shit, I can't believe and I was doing like a ball boy thing in probably 87 or 86, where you just run and you grab the ball and you volunteer for the day. And then I remember asking my cousin John, shout out to my cousin John. He got me into a lot of heavy music too, but I remember asking him about those bands that I would hear over the, you know, the speakers at the events. Cause there was also a time where, I don't know if you ever did this. Did you ever go see closed circuit fight?
Yeah.
My father and I, we went to one, I think it was New Haven Coliseum, where the fight's not there, but they put it up on a screen.
Yeah.
And they would play music like AC/DC and Rush. Like, I remember hearing Rush going, whoa, what is this? Tom Sawyer. I still love that song. It fucking rips.
You got to, man.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, they used to play Metallica to get us pumped up for the football games in high school, right? And, you know, I was a small town boy, man. My parents were like, I mean, they threw away like my MC Hammer CDs or cassettes, you know, like they were, you know, conservative Christian, and they're like, that's Satan's music. You ain't listening to that shit, you know? So I'd sneak out to the barn. You know, I had a little cassette player hidden under the pile of straw, and I would sneak out there and listen to my fucking Metallica and shit, or not even Metallica. Yeah, maybe Metallica then. But I just remember, man, like, walking out, you know, getting ready for a football game, hearing Metallica, like, what the fuck, man? Like, this is what it's about, you know? This is what I'm fucking living for. Like, why the fuck am I out baling straw and shit, man? Like, this is the shit right here, you know? Fuck college. Fuck all. Yeah. You know, man? Like, I said, it's life-changing, man. And, you know, I wouldn't say Metallica was negative music, so to speak, but, you know, I think it was probably more associated with negativity, you know. Pantera, they had some, like, Vulgar was like a lot of positivity, but then Pantera, that was my first one that I was really, really deep into, was Pantera, like just obsessed with. And they got a lot, you know, they got really negative as they went along. You know, Phil got in a dark place and shit. You relate to that. But then first time I heard Hatebreed, I was like, damn, this shit can be fucking positive too, man. Like, it doesn't have to be like I'm ready to kill myself and slice people up, and, you know, it can be something good for you, man. So, you know, I won't talk about it all day, but, you know, that's the shit that I think you should be very fucking proud of it, man. You know, I guarantee there's millions of people out there that feel the way that I do, you know, and I just took it to the next level. That's all I did to become the fighter that I am, and everything is, you know, like I said, just a small town kid with a fucking dream, man. You know, and I was all alone by myself, you know, training by myself, working by myself, no friends, but I had that fucking music in the ears, man, pushing me to do bigger, better things.
It's real. It really is. And I think that's why it scares people. I think especially the ones, and you would think that the more conservative sort of Christian or any religion that the music scares, you would think that they would understand it more, because they use so many mantras and so much music within their teachings and within their events. But they hone in on the ones that are more of like a horror movie,
For
right?
sure.
But they don't necessarily hone in on the horror movie itself, or the real horror movie in real life, which is wars and displacing people for resources. And we don't have to get into all that, but it's like convenient. It's like a convenient enemy that they can sort of use without having to address real world problems. And every time there's something bad that goes on in society, I'm always like, oh, please let them not be wearing a metal shirt, or, you know, because they will go and use it as a scapegoat. But that's part of the reason why before Perseverance, I switched up everything lyrically, or the majority of it lyrically, because touring off that first record for 4 or 5 years, and then having people come and, like, at a meet and greet shaking and like there's so much anger and so much hostility, and then you play the show and that same person is then fighting and they don't have the positive outlet. I started thinking, man, we need mantras. Like, when we're driving in the van going to the next show, we're listening to stuff that keeps us going, like, so that when we break down or pop a tire or whatever happens, or we hear bad news from home and we're calling on a payphone, we don't have money to get to the next place, we want something that's going to keep us fueled and going. That's so that we can, you know what I mean? So when I changed it, it was hard at first, because there were people that I looked up to in metal going, why is this guy got to be so positive? You know, what is this guy like? What does this guy got to be so happy about? And I'm thinking, I just toured for 4 years in a van. I'm eating beanie weenie out of a couple tours we did in cars. You know, like, we get signed to a major label. I realized there's power in the words. Let me make sure that I'm not, you know, drawing from a bad place. Let's draw from a place of empowerment.
I think a lot of the kind of Christian or religious stuff, I think the imagery is what gets them a lot of times, you know, before they even listen to the music. Like, if you could, like, you look at like Kiss, you know, if you've never been at a theatrical type show like that, you know, all the flames, the makeup and shit, you're gonna be like, damn, these are some Satan worshiping motherfuckers, but they're up there singing, I want to rock and roll all night, you know, like, they ain't talking about shit, man. But theatrically or image wise, it looks kind of scary if you've never seen nothing like that, right?
With the blood and the tongues and the no, and also that hedonistic sort of lifestyle. But I think at some point they got to let go of that shaming of pleasure. All religions do. I know Christianity gets singled out really a lot and too much. And I have Christian music artists on the podcast all the time, and people who use the teachings of Jesus just to, you know, better their lives, and they're not like being judgmental, and they actually help the homeless, and they actually help their communities. more power to them. But yeah, I feel like, and I don't get me wrong, I love all the death metal, even the ones with the misogynistic, bad lyrics that are frowned upon. But I know it's a safe escape.
Sure.
And I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to cut a woman up or, any of that stuff that's in those songs. It's no different than watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's a vicarious escape to show me that that's not what I want to do in my life.
Yeah. And that's exactly the analogy I use. Like some of these people, they'll watch Saw and Hostel and shit. And then they'll be like, "Oh, fucking Cannibal Corpse sucks," like, why do they want to talk about that shit? I'm like, dude, you're sitting here fucking watching the same thing. What are you talking about, man? So,
yes, exactly.
It's like, it's okay when Hollywood does it and pushes it, right?
Right. And I actually think if there was virtual ways of doing this stuff that didn't hurt anybody, like that because power and greed is what all these problems come from, right? People want to have this power trip, or they want to have a victim. But if there was a virtual reality way to do that and appease that dark appetite, maybe that would stop from a lot of problems in society. I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe like people are suppressed, right? They have a way to let that shit out, man.
Yeah, because
right? If they let it out in reality, it's going to be a fucking shit show.
Yeah, but there's people, there's millions of people that listen to Cannibal Corpse that never did anything wrong ever in their life, never broke a law. But the one or two that might be in jail for burying somebody right now, they needed something more. They needed virtual therapy. They needed a better parenting system. They needed a better community.
Yeah, I mean, I love Cannibal Corpse and who else? Like Nile. That's probably my favorite death metal band is Nile. But like I go to the shows, like most of them are like fat dorks, man. It's not like people like that are harmful at all. He's definitely dude playing World of Warcraft in his basement, man. Like I'm not worried about this guy. More power to him. Like nothing against him, but that's not. There's certainly, like, I'd be way more worried going to there's different shows. I'd be a lot more worried about the people that you see there. Yeah,
for sure. Right. Well, we had a concert here in Connecticut. It was the most arrests and the most assaults. It was Dave Matthews. He holds the record.
Yeah, everybody just getting shit-faced drunk and trying to pick up women, right?
Yeah, and fight each other and do the whole posturing thing and rev up their trucks and all this stuff.
Yeah, dude, you go to any country festival, that's what it is, right? Like dudes that talk mad shit to you, say stupid shit. You looking at my girl? And you're like, dude, get a fucking life, man. With the little dicks with the big trucks and all that shit, right?
Anytime somebody is road raging near me or is right up on my ass or is beeping or is making a scene, they're always in one of those trucks. I don't know what it is. And I'm doing a home rehab job right now, house rehab, and they all pull up in their trucks, but they all seem very nice when they're out of the trucks. So sorry if I'm making a blanket judgment, but now the Ford F-150, I guess, is coming out with an electric truck, so maybe it'll be less aggro.
Oh, it's gonna destroy people's lives, man. They would be so frustrated. But don't get me wrong, I love a big truck too, man. But it ain't because I got a little dick in them and I got to fucking prove a point to no one. I like going off road.
Yeah, I got a van right now. I got a shady van.
Oh, nice. That's like a white van with no windows and shit, or
no, it's like a little like work van. It's like like I look like I could be delivering blood samples which would actually be pretty metal, right? Like if I'm delivering like Quest diagnostic, I look like I'm working at some sort of janitorial job or something. I don't know. It's like a Sprinter.
Okay. Hey, those are sick though.
I love it. I love it. I could sleep in it. I'm actually thinking about when we announced this tour, I'm thinking about taking the seats out and putting like a little bunk in there or something, or a little utility shelf, and then driving on some of these days, just driving myself to each show so I could go do some shit. Like by you in Ohio, I want to go see those mounds. Those
yeah. I've never even seen them. Well, I think I went on a field trip there once, but I don't remember that shit. Yeah, I don't know where that shit's even at, man. I've heard of them before though.
It's like and its latitude and longitude, someone told me, is the same as Egypt, or it's on some sort of chart. So it could be some relation. I could be completely off with it.
Some dude that looked into it way too much.
But the Native Americans there, I guess, had these similar structures which have been reduced to these mounds, but could have been pyramids, supposedly.
Fuck, man, that shit's crazy. It's fucking aliens. But you see them, like, you can drive around Columbus and just see mountains here and there though. But I never seen the ones you're talking about. I've heard about them, but there's some pretty sick shit in Ohio, man. Take a ride around, like the nature and shit, if you're into that.
I need to. I never see anything good. I've been to Paris like 100 times. I think I've been to the Eiffel Tower once, and that wasn't even on tour. You know what I mean? Like we just do the gig
yeah. That's what people don't realize about. Like they ask you where I've been to fight and everything. I'm like, man, pretty much all around the world. Abu Dhabi. And they're like, oh, dude, what'd you see, man? I'm like, I seen a hotel and an arena, and it looked the same as it did here in America, like I don't have time for that shit. I'm sure it's the same when you guys are touring. You got like a day or two, right?
Yep.
Like you ain't got time to go do that shit. You got to rest up for the show, I assume.
Yeah, and then if you get a foldable bike, or if you get a dude or someone that that's friends, a lot of times by the time they get there, by the time you get it out of the trailer, and then you got something, you meet and greet, a sound check, an interview. Or you get people that will then follow you. That's happened to me, like when I'm on the bike, and then you don't want to be rude, but then you're like, yo, I'm just trying to go to the park.
Yeah.
And so, but Randy from Lamb of God, we were going to do a podcast at Stonehenge in England, and he still wants to do it. And I thought that could be cool on this tour if I find dudes from different bands who are home from tour, and we go to like take the portable setup so that we could go to a mound or go to some sort of geological anomaly location, wherever. I don't know. Is there anything in Ohio where they had a fucking sea monster, like any lake or anything, like a Loch Ness?
Fuck. I wish, man. We're pretty plain in Ohio, bro.
Or I'll go to the Alamo, or
we got fucking cornfields,
Yeah. You got, what about isn't there some sort of insane asylum or Shawshank? Didn't we play there? I
bet you probably played there. They do the incarceration where they filmed the Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, that's a sick prison too, man.
And I didn't even get to see it.
Oh, really?
I was doing the podcast with Pepper from COC, so I missed out on the tour. All the guys did it.
Damn. It's pretty sick, man. I've done the tour before. It's pretty sick. And they have a Halloween thing in there that's really sick. I never got to go to that, though, but I've heard about it. Heard it's pretty sick. But I wonder, I go to that show just about every year. They just announced this year's, man. It's going to be a pretty sick show. Five Finger, Mastodon, Slipknot. It's going to be a pretty sick show.
In 2021?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm glad it's back. I thought that it was postponed, so that's great.
I think September, I think.
Oh, that's awesome. They did a great job. Shout out to all the promoter, the staff, everybody at that festival. It was awesome. We had a really good time. It was great to see Pepper and all those guys. It was a lot of fun. When Pepper was like, "When are we doing this iPod?" He's like, "How do you do?" He goes, "What the fuck? What are you recording on an iPod?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's a podcast. You listen to it on the podcast app." He's like, let's just set it up and we'll do it."
That's badass, man. Yeah, because so they usually have the Rock on the Range in Columbus, right? Yeah, so I think they're not doing that this year. So the incarceration up by the prison, they got everybody. So they, usually that's sort of the secondary festival. They'll have like good bands, but not as good, not as big, like Slipknot or something. Probably never played incarceration before.
Yeah, that's gonna. How are they gonna fit? They're gonna have to expand the space because that space is not big enough for Slipknot.
Definitely not, which is gonna make it even sicker, right?
Yeah, I found a photo of us and Brian Posehn. I thought it was from Rock on the Range, and Rita's in there in the back. Did you come and see us at Rock on the Range?
I think I did, man.
I think you did, because I found a photo of all of us. I'm pretty sure it's there, because I remember it was outside of a stadium, right?
Yeah, it's a soccer stadium.
Yeah, and I went in and I saw a couple songs of Slipknot, and then I remember going to Jim Root and going, "You're officially stadium metal." Like, it's different to be like arena rock or arena metal, or we joke around, we'll say arena core, but stadium metal is hard. And I've seen them at Giant Stadium and that stadium, and then one other one in Europe. But
I remember that year. Now I think I just came and said hi or whatever. Didn't really have time to hang out. I think I was training or something, probably, because I didn't get to see Slipknot. I watched them on my couch at home. They broadcasted like on the local channel or whatever.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think you did. I think you left right after we played, because there was someone else. We had a circle pit around the fucking around the soundboard, and people had like filmed it from up outside of the stadium, like when you're walking to get your hot dog or whatever. Mm-hmm. That was fun. But so let's talk about this card tomorrow. I'm excited for this card. I've been looking forward to it. I love the rubber match, the trilogy. I was actually going to ask you, if you could run it back with any one of your choice. I would hope it would be either Cerrone or Lawler, but I saw Lawler's might be booked against Nick Diaz. But who would your choice be?
Yeah, so that was actually kind of who I asked for after my last fight. I said Cerrone, Lawler, or Damian Maia. Damian's looking for his retirement fight. Cowboys going back to 155 most likely. And I don't know if they would give me the Cowboy fight, because I actually turned it down. They offered me a rematch, but I turned it down because they only gave me 4 or 5 weeks. I was like, I want to be in shape. I just wasn't in shape for it. But yeah, I'd love to run it back with any of them, man. Particularly Cowboy, because he knocked me the fuck out, and I was winning the fight before then, or at least very close. And so I feel like if I would have just done a couple more things, I could have taken care of that, and so it is what it is. Lawler, me and him had a war. It's another one. Like, I thought I won the fight. They gave him the decision, so I just like to do it again. And then Maia, the only reason I was really talking about him was like, it's his retirement fight. He's the worst matchup for me. I admit that, like, he's not a guy that I should want to fight, but I like the challenge, and that's why I took it the first time. So, I'd love to give it a second shot, man. It's still the worst matchup for me, but, I don't fight necessarily just to cherry pick and look for wins, I fight because I want to test myself, and I want to go in there and be find the best version of myself. And I think the best version of myself could beat any of those guys. So that's what I'm looking for. And they actually just offered me a fight yesterday. I guess I probably can't really talk about it, but I don't have. Sorry, my train of thought got confused. My girlfriend just walked by. So I wasn't able to do it on the timeline that they have. So I just got to take a little bit of time off, and we'll fucking get back to it, man. But I got to I got some injuries and shit, and So like you said, those guys are, kind of booking what they got to book and everything. And I'm just taking my time, man. Right now, I'm at the hotel training with Mickey Gall. He's fighting in July 24th. So I'm coaching him up, man, getting him ready. That's kind of where my focus is right now. And, I've been doing a lot of coaching other guys, man, having fun doing that, loving being a coach, loving, because I'm a little bit of a different coach, man. I get down the trenches with them. I don't just stand by the side and say, do this, do that. I'm in there sweating and bleeding with them. And that's the way I like to do it.
That's great, man. That's awesome. You're training with Mickey Gall. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
When he actually thought Mike Perry and you would be a good fight too.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody's a good fight with me, man. I've never once called the UFC and said, I want to fight this guy or this guy. The only time, I guess really after my last fight was the only time I even brought up names. Like I said, Cowboy, Lawler, and Maya. And I just kind of thought, like, after a big knockout, maybe since I don't really do that and ask for fights, maybe now's a good time that I could ask for a fight. So, it's just not really been my style. They call me, I say yes. Or, if there's a reason that I can't, then I say no. So, I keep it simple, man. I never really gave a fuck. But Mike Perry would be great, man. I'm a fucking warrior, bro. I don't give a fuck, man. I'm a really true believer, man, that what it comes down to is it's you against yourself in there. It don't matter who's across the fucking cage from you. If I'm the best version of myself, I beat any man in the world. And, obviously sometimes I haven't been the best version of myself.
But the cool thing about if you ran it back with Cerrone or Lawler is that if you win, you set up the trilogy. And everybody likes the trilogy.
Yeah. I'm all about it, man. I love it. I'll fight him 100 times. I don't give a shit. But the only downside about those kind of fights is like, most people would probably consider me closer to the end of my career. Like I'm 40 now. Those guys in the same position. So winning a fight like that doesn't necessarily. I'd kind of rather beat an up and comer, where they're kind of like Dhiego. My last fight, where they kind of count me out a little bit. Maybe I'm the underdog. They think, we don't really know what's going to happen. He's too old, and I go in there and show them motherfuckers that I'm better than I ever was.
Yeah. No, and if you look at the rankings, there's definitely matchups that would be really exciting. Guys like Nico Price or Jake Matthews. I know they already have other fights booked, but yeah, even Randy Brown or I brought up Mike Perry just because you said you trained with you're training with Mickey Gall, and he's been in there with him.
Yeah,
and you could
I'm down, bro.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of young, hungry guys that would be really fun to see you fight. I mean, I'm always in your corner, win or lose, and I watch you fight a fucking a random off the street, and I'll pay the pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like you beat up a TikToker if you get out of your contract and you want to do that. I mean, go into boxing, do like what Anderson Silva just did.
Yeah, I ain't scared, man. Like I love fighting, man. That's just what I was born to do. I fucking love being in there. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's not I know I got to make money. I should probably be smarter about it and shit. But hey, man, that's the way I came up was I'm a fucking warrior and I'm a martial artist first. The money's secondary. A lot of these guys chasing the money stuff. Like I called out Jake Paul before he fought Ben Askren. I said, I could show you a tweet. I said, he's going to knock Ben Askren the fuck out. No problem. Fight a real guy like me,
Yeah.
Like it was obvious, but I said, I don't care. I like money, but I live a good lifestyle and my kids are taken care of. So I don't have to go chase money. I like being in there and going to war, man. I like getting bloody. And I like going in there and being scared and nervous about what's going to happen and walking out limping and bloodied and bruised. And I love the week after a fight when I'm sitting around healing and can't stand up to get my orange juice or whatever. This is the fucking life I love, man. And what do? I go back in the gym. Like I'm all beat up and bruised from my fight still. And I'm out here grinding with Mickey, you know, like trying to push it. This is what I love. And I'm going to die on those mats hopefully in a pool of blood on the mats. And that'll be a beautiful sight.
On a spiritual kind of level, you probably, if there is an afterlife or if there is some sort of next existence, not in this current body or whatever, you probably paid so much already that you get something out of that, like that suffering for sure. Because you hear like just in talking to some of you guys that do this, and boxers and wrestlers, and even just, you know, troops and vets and stuff, you hear that in their voice, you know, that if they, whatever combat they've been through, it's like they have a little bit of solace that maybe the suffering the next time around will be less than, because you pay the dues, you know, almost.
And I'm on that note. I mean, people like me and the other guys who talk to you like that, we're exactly the reason the UFC rips us off and doesn't pay us shit. You know what I mean? It is a fact, man. Cause I'm that guy that they call. Like, I've never negotiated my contract. You know what I mean? Like,
I've never asked for more.
I asked for more once and it just gave it to me. I just said, can I get more? And he said, yes. And offered me more, but I've never like caused a problem. Like, oh, I think I deserve more or whatever. I just literally just walked up to Dana and was like, hey man, I'm at the end of my contract. I think I could get a little more than, you know, the standard raise that you guys been giving me. It's like, yeah, no problem. Bam, done that quick. You know, like,
that's why they also love you too. And that's why that's why you're still around. I mean, see, in music, we get the same type of thing. There's bands that are just on the same record label for their whole career. We're on a different record label for every record, almost every record, probably because we make a stink and we want more. But yeah, I mean, and that's not necessarily a good thing all the time, because now it's harder to do shit. Like if you were in 90 different promotions, it might be harder because they will go, well, that's how it was in a different promotion. So there's an argument for both ways, but I do think it's exciting for guys like you who, if say you were at the end of your contract and you wanted to do a local promotion in Ohio, or you wanted to go do bare knuckle, or you wanted to do Glory or any of this stuff, you do have a lot of bargaining power because of your star power and your loyal fans and just the work ethic and the grind. You know, no one's worked like you, so they're willing to give you that much more. It's like when we get offered a big festival, which we just got offered, we wouldn't normally get this money if we were headlining, but they're giving us this money because of the legacy.
Oh, nice. Good for you, man. That's badass. And for me, if I was to do anything else, I would do other shit for money. But if I was to fight like what I love, it would just be Muay Thai. Like, that's what I love from the beginning. That's what I wanted to do before I was even an MMA fighter. There's just, you know, there wasn't a future, and you'd have to really go to Thailand to be able to really fight in Muay Thai. And, you know, America's garbage for Muay Thai, especially back when I was coming up. I mean, there just wasn't nothing. So, you know, MMA is accessible. I could go down the street and sign up. So, but Muay Thai has always been my passion, and that's something I'd love to do it for fun after I retire. But you know, you might get paid $500,000. You know, so you make more money. I could literally make more money having an exhibition sparring competition in my gym. So.
Well, you could probably promote it or co-promote it with Alliance Fight or someone like that, where if you were to do that and fight a guy who's ranked in Muay Thai, or fight a guy with there's some guys that have a little bit of a draw, like they did it out here in Connecticut, and there was a decent little crowd in a small theater. But you do it in your hometown, you do it in Ohio, and you probably can fill a convention center or at least scale the arena down and make it like, you know, how they do at MSG, where they'll scale it down for the boxing.
Yeah, I never even thought about that. It might be a good idea. I'll tell you, I'm not sure the full rules Muay Thai is even legal in Ohio, though.
Right. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like I can go to MMA and I can take a guy down, elbow his face, but I can't do a Muay Thai match. It's these fucking people that make these rules that are lost, man.
the sanctioning bodies. Yeah, there's different commissions in every state, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that's a good idea, bro. Maybe you see Immortal Muay Thai fights coming.
That would be hard. Yeah, do your own promotion. I like that. I just like, Batista fought an MMA fight a bunch of years back, and I had hit him up saying, yo, if you need walkout music, because I thought that was cool. A guy from pro wrestling coming over and was fighting like a journeyman type of guy. Was a dangerous guy. I mean, the guy had a crazy record, but he's still a dangerous guy who fights people for a living and potentially could really hurt a guy like that. And he won. It was fun to watch. I think they did it at a pay-per-view, but they had a good crowd at the live event. And I thought, why don't more people do this? Like, why don't more people? I know it's a lot of work, right? To get the cameras and get the announcers and book the venue. I know you need a whole team of people, but I think over time you could do it.
Well, the UFC does have, I'd have to read the contract specifically, but it has some sort of thing that you're not allowed to like form your own promotion. It might not be for all fighters. I'm not sure exactly, but I know there's some sort of protection that they have for themselves. So basically, like John Jones couldn't just start his own promotion and go fight. Right.
The non-compete. Yeah, I had that at the end of Headbangers Ball. Like I forget there's a little time window where, you can't go and host another heavy metal TV show for whatever amount of time.
Yeah.
But say Diego Sanchez, rents a Albuquerque, New Mexico convention hall and says, hey, I want to run it back, and you're out of your contract. And the money's good. Do you get a flight to Albuquerque? Because he would probably pack the house in New Mexico, right?
That would be fun. I don't think Diego would go for that, but yeah, maybe someone else would. I don't know. But yeah, Diego, man, that's just a tragedy, man. The way his life has turned out. So I don't know if I'd even want to do that to him again. Look what happened last time I elbowed him. Then he went and found the weirdo. So
it could be your fault. Yeah. That guy, that was terrible. But I guess that guy's not working with him anymore, right?
Yeah, Diego got rid of him. But man, that guy had everything of his. He had like power of attorney over him, had his financials, fucking everything, bro. That's what I say. It was so tragic. But I think it sounds like Diego found a way out of it. I don't think UFC ever would have got rid of Diego. He could have lost 10 fights in a row and they'd give him another fight. But that dude fucked everything up for him. So, I hope the best for Diego. I think he's a great guy, man. But it just goes to show you, you got to be careful who you let in your life, man.
For sure. Snakes in the grass, man. Always, everywhere. That's why you got to have a sharp mower, sharp blade.
I like it.
Well, before we get out of here, let's go over this card. And thank you so much for the time, Matt. It's great to see you, man. And I'm really looking forward to your next fight. And I do hope that if they don't give you one of these young guns, one of these young, hungry, I want to see Nick Diaz versus Lawler again as well. But maybe you fight the winner of that. You're coming off a win.
I'm down, bro. I'm down, man. I'd love to fight the winner of that. I don't think, Nick likes to really dislike his opponent. And I'm a little bit, not really friends, but like acquaintances with the Diaz's. So I don't know if they would ever fight me, to be honest. They don't like to fight guys that they like. Yeah, there's a lot of respect. Yeah. Like me and Nate were actually supposed to fight at one point, and he wouldn't sign the contract. And I think it was just a respect thing. I don't think, he's not fucking scared. He's not one of those guys, but I think it was just a respect thing. And I think we have a lot of respect for each other. We've hung out a few times, and I don't know if he would take the fight. So I don't go out calling those guys out or nothing because, out of respect. So.
Right on. Well, hey, I mean, there's always that cowboy fight, which would be great.
I'd love that.
Because then if you win and then you get the rubber, you get the trilogy. And that's, we love that out here because we like, the boxing trilogies. And
yeah,
I mean, who doesn't like that? Where it doesn't matter the records. It doesn't matter. Like we watched, Mickey Ward and I mean, I'll watch anybody go 3 times. It's legacy.
Speaking of, who you got on Fury Wilder 3?
I heard it's out. I heard it's
Yeah.
done.
Fury's
Well,
out.
for
He
now,
got COVID.
They're just going to rebook it though, right?
Oh, it's getting rebooked.
Fuck, I don't know. I mean, I assume they would, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's say the fight
I'm-
happens. Who you got?
I'm gonna take Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, who you
Why?
got?
I lean towards Fury. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I go Fury if I had to put money on it.
Yeah, I just think that he, for whatever reason, he strikes me as somebody who's not such an old dog, that he's set in his in his one way. Like I feel like he has the desire to learn and right.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's details. The devil's in the details, right? And he
And I
has the
think
more convincing of the win too. I feel like
100% on that. And I think he frustrates Wilder. You can tell like Wilder gets mad when he misses those punches and he tries harder and harder. And if Wilder doesn't catch him early, he's not going to win the fight. And he's a hard guy to catch early.
yes, and I think that I've watched that clip of him popping up. I've watched that so many times where I'm a guy that big popping up that quick. That's got to worry Wilder as well, right? Because if he takes your best shot and can pop up like that, that's scary, man. That's like some Michael Myers shit.
Yeah. No one ever popped up like that when Wilder hit him, right? Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, I think he's just got Wilder's number, man. But yeah, I still think Wilder has that fucking punch, man. Like, goddamn, what a puncher. So
Scary.
That's why I was just saying I lean towards Fury, but goddamn, that dude, he touches you the wrong way, man. I don't know if Fury could get up from that again.
Right. Yeah, because it's miles on the tires. They eventually, yeah. The I was thinking about the other day was Andre Ward. He just popped in my brain, and I thought, he was one that had his own promotion or had a cut of the promotion, and I thought maybe he made so much on that last fight, and he just lives very humbly and is like, fuck it. But whatever happened to him?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know him or follow his story close enough to say, but from what I do know, I get the feeling that he was kind of happy with what he did. He did some great things, right? He's like, I'll live the Koosh life, man. Like, do this commentating shit. He's not like that warrior spirit. Like, someone like me who's dumb and it's just like, I just want to fight more, way past prime. But he was like, I made my money. Let's chill, And he did great things, man. Olympic gold medalist, like, multiple time world champion. Yeah, why not get out while the getting's good? He's a smart guy too, like that, right?
Yeah, but with all these exhibitions and all these guys coming out of retirement, to fade away or burn out is the question. And so he just popped up in my brain. Like, I got to look him up and see what he's doing. Cause I'm surprised that no one's called him out or no one, has said, hey, let's do an exhibition. Or maybe he's like, yo, that's disrespectful to the sport of boxing. I wouldn't touch it,
Yeah, that'd be cool to see though. I love watching him, man. He's such an expert technician. Love watching him, study him a lot, actually. Just so smooth and good combos, good reactions. But the sport changes quick too, man. He might have seen something in there, like these guys coming up. Don't know if I can hang with them, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of dudes that have gone too long, and then there's dudes like him that maybe they're just like, fuck it, I saved my money, I invested good. And
like GSP. Yeah, GSP stepped away at the right time. I mean, he's younger than me. And he's been retired for 2-3 years now. Retired even longer before that, came back and fought Bisping. But he's like, hey, I want to save my brain and take care of my life and live comfortable, man. Like, fighting's a fucking hard sport, man. This shit's, I'm out here training with Mickey and it's wearing me out, man. I'm fucking over here dead tired. You know, don't have no energy and shit. So
yeah, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know. I can't even imagine. I take down fucking wallpaper and I need 2 days to recuperate. The GSP is one of those guys. I always thought he's gonna start his own promotion. GSP presents in fucking Quebec or something. Sold out 50,000. It wouldn't even matter who was on the card.
Yeah.
I always thought he would do that.
I'll tell you what, he's one of those guys. Wouldn't surprise me if he did, because he's still under his contract actually. So I think he's got a year or two left. I think he just posted about it the other day, something about it. He's the type of guy who would not surprise me if he did some shit like that.
I would love that. I wish he would start like a Legends League, like Vitor was talking about, and do it in Canada, do it in Brazil. I mean, it's weird when you talk about that, right? Because it's technically competition, so I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But I watch Dream, I watch Ryzen, I used to watch HD Net and fucking MFC and LFA and RFA. I watched all this shit, so and it's always been intriguing to me, even the local shit at the casino, but just not just on a promoter business level, but on an exciting matchup level, because I do like the freak show fights too.
Did you see the fight circus over in Thailand?
No, what's that?
Oh shit. You gotta look this up, man. I didn't watch it, but I read about it. They had like 3-on-1 matchups. They had like 400-pound guy versus 100-pound guy. Just insane. Like that's why they called it fight circus. Like it was a legit fight circus. They had like porn stars walking around and it's just a real fucking circus, man. And they didn't make no qualms about it. They're like, this is a fucking circus and we're gonna go crazy with it.
I'll have to check it out. I did watch what did I watch the other night? I watched Hongman Choi versus Fedor, maybe? Was it?
Okay.
I'll look up these ones on YouTube and just bug out. I watched Bob Sapp versus somebody the other night. But I always thought, man, it would be fun to do that. Like just one event where we have bands play. Fry? Yeah, it might have been Don Fry, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The badass fight.
Yeah. But I always thought, man, if I could do that, if I could get my promoter's license and do it once, like, you know how Megadeth played Affliction? They played at the event. Right? Yeah. I think they might have played the one with Fedor and Arlovsky, actually.
I think it was Fedor and Coleman.
Fedor and Coleman, yeah. And I was so jealous. I was like, damn, I want to play. But I thought, oh, why don't I just book it myself? But then when I did Aggressive Music Festival I did it up in New York, where Tyson first fought in the arena there. We had Slayer the first night, and then we had like Mudvayne and Soulfly and Flames the second night, I think, and Slipknot. And just trying to get the license and trying to do all the stuff behind the scenes and set up the business, the LLC, the insurance. It was so insane that I was like, nah, we're just sticking to the bands, you know, fuck that.
Dude, I what's your opinion on this? Like when I watch these shit like Triller, and they had all those bands in between, I fucking hated that shit, man. and not because I hated the bands, which I pretty much did, but just to me, it's got to be either a concert or a fight. Now, if they want to do a concert before a fight or after a fight, whatever.
Yeah, pre-show.
Yeah, but I don't like the fight music.
No, it's got to be tailgate type of pre-show party where you just have a 20-minute set or an abbreviated set, or it's got to be an after party type of thing where like I remember after one UFC, we all went to Steel Panther. They were playing.
Nice.
And like, you know, Chris Liebman's in the crowd and shit and Chuck Liddell. And it was like, that's cool. Like that. Then you make it some sort of festival where you have an event pass or a bracelet. And you could go to each venue, go to the venue to see the fight, go to a venue, see comedy, go to a venue, see a band, like a South by Southwest, but with all three: comedy, music, and fights.
Yeah, I like it. And see, I've thought about making my own promotion at some point. Maybe when I retire, I'll do it. But I want to make pure MMA, pure fighting, where no gloves, headbutts are legal, kicks to the ground are legal, elbows. And basically everything except for headbutts legal, everything except for, you know, nuts and eyes. and biting, right? Like just no bullshit. You know what I mean? Like this is a fair fight, no cage. Have it like in an open, I don't know, fucking basketball court, something like that. No time limit, which some people wouldn't like that because you're gonna have that guy that stalls for 30 minutes.
Right.
But that's a pure part of the sport though. Like that's a legitimate strategy. You know, if you come in really good shape and your opponent's not in as good a shape, you can use that against them. It kind of made me think about the other day when I think it was Firas Zahabi said no one would beat Nate Diaz, you know, if there was no time limit. I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah.
I thought, man, I got to fucking do this. We should have no time limit. If he could beat you with no time limit, let's fucking find out. I know.
See, but that's because you're in it and you've done it and you respect it to that level. Whereas fans who don't, they will boo like actual just jujitsu, and you go, what are they talking? Like they'll boo things that are beautiful to see, strategies that someone with a real eye would respect, but a fair weather wouldn't. So it might be so underground that it like
never gets anywhere.
It could just be limited. I would never put a ceiling on anything. It's not my place, but I see this with music where something is brilliant, but it's over people's heads.
I thought it would be kind of like NASCAR, right? Where you watch for hours and hours and nothing happens. And then there's a big wreck and you're like, fuck yeah, those worth all the time.
Well, yeah. Especially if you did it in some sort of space that allowed for all different types of action, right?
Yeah. I just don't want the cage wall or ropes or anything. You know, like, I mean, we can make it big enough. Like they played basketball on courts or football, you know, like we can make it big enough and, you know, have like something where, you know, you can't like actually just run from the guy, or maybe you can. Fuck it. Let them run from him. They run. That's part of the sport too.
That weird sort of concave thing they had in one of those BKB, I think it was BKB. I thought that was intriguing. Did you see that?
Yeah. If it was bigger, I think it'd been cool. It was like a little too small, so people were always going up on it.
Yeah.
But
it definitely played a part, right? Because on that angle, you get some sort of torque. You get almost more torque on the punches because it's almost like a mini Superman punch, right?
Actually, you know what'd be sick now that I think about it is if we could do it in like the Coliseum, like dude, just put a message gladiator style. So yeah, there's a wall, but it's way the fuck over there. Gladiator style.
Yeah.
Maybe even put a spike on the wall. So if he does go, he kills himself or something.
Right. I mean, well, shit, people go to medieval times still. Why wouldn't they go to this?
Yeah.
Would you serve like turkey legs and shit? Like a big, like,
yeah, I'll do it at the Renaissance Fair. Dude, I think it would be pretty sick though, man. Like I think because it would just be pure martial arts, man. Like you got to fucking, you know, you don't get to use the cage to your advantage. You don't get to use the time to your advantage. You don't get to use, like I've always said, if headbutts are still legal, Mark Coleman would still be the fucking world champion today.
Yeah.
You know?
But like, no ref in this?
Well, yeah, you gotta have a ref because they can't bite or eye poke or you know, kick the nuts, you know.
Yeah. Dude, talk to Rogan. He could do it. He's talked about that. I want to say there was some episode where he talked about having it on a basketball court.
That makes sense, right?
It does. Because then the I don't want to say running, but that's a strategy. The movement and the tiring out and the footwork and
why not, right? It would be way different though. It would take some time because it would blow people's minds. They'd be like, what the fuck am I watching? And certainly I remember one of my favorite fights I ever watched, boring as fuck, was Royce Gracie and Sakuraba, hour and a half long. And so much of it was doing nothing. but I love the spirit. You know what I mean? I love like how Sakuraba just made it last an hour and a half. He's like, I'm just going to keep going until you're fucking quit, man. And he did.
Yeah.
Like, I love that, man. And it's like watching a movie. It certainly sucked for the guy for the next fight, trying to get warmed up. Like, when do I get warmed up? Like 2 hours from now, or you know?
Yeah, the surface would be important too, because the canvas now, you benefit from it being wet or bloody, right? Depending on where you're standing.
Yeah, well, it used to be like that. They fixed it, and now it's not really slippery anymore. It used to be real bad. Like that's why you always see guys pour water on the canvas, because it would get better grip that way. But they fixed it now. So now you get a lot more rug burn, you know, because it's a lot more coarser. So you'll get your skin pretty fucked up, but obviously we'll accept that for our feet not sliding.
Right. But how hard is it?
Oh yeah. So that's a completely different thing, right? Something, you know, when I start my promotion, I'll have to consider, do I do concrete or do I do mats?
Because if it's mats, then it's not then the punch has to do the damage and not the surface, right?
Yeah.
When they hit. But how hard is it in the UFC octagon? It's pretty hard. It's not that soft, right? It's like,
yeah, it's not any harder than your local mats at the local martial arts studio, though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's what we're used to. But I can even do it on dirt too, though.
Dirt would be good. I feel like a field, like any sort of field could be cool.
Yeah. See, I gotta come up with this shit, man. Fucking Immortal Fighting Championships.
I'm sold. Pay-per-view. I'll play in the parking lot, a couple songs, whatever.
Yeah, or after the show.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
And then I'm sorry, we got to get Slayer too, though. Well, I guess they're retired. We'll come up with someone.
I bet you Carrie gets a new band soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet she tries to get Anselmo to sing.
Oh shit. Okay.
That's my bet. And I don't have any intel. I don't have any inside intel. That's just my bet. If I was him, I feel like that would be the best bet. And I know Anselmo already has his other side project band or whatever, and they already do Pantera songs. And no offense to those guys, because I'm sure they're all super talented and everything. But the marquee value wise, and then if you know you're going to get Slayer and Pantera songs, to me, you would just go right to be the headliner instead of being.
Yeah, that's pretty sick, man. That'd be real sick. Phil's got like so many projects going on, though. He's always doing some new shit.
Yeah, there's a death metal one that did a live stream. There's like a kind of like a big band style one, I think. It's like Morrissey almost, or I don't know.
And minor.
Right, yeah. But all right, we got to talk about this card before we get out of here. So
No
you're taking Connor or you're taking Dustin? Did you watch the press conference?
I watched parts of the press conference, been out here training balls off, but you know what? I'm 50-50 on this one, to be honest, but I'll say if it ends early, it's because Connor wins early. If it goes later, I lean really heavy towards Dustin.
Same. Yeah. We will see Connor checking some kicks. I think Dustin will shoot for takedowns early, tire him out. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how it goes. If there is live betting, the later it goes, Dustin all the way.
Yeah, definitely favors Dustin. I'm gonna be interested if Dustin lands a couple of kicks and Connor misses the check, how that plays into his mind.
Oh, right. Yeah, because Dustin looked calm and really cool, and Connor looked rattled to me and sweaty.
Yeah, and his shit talk was not on point. I didn't feel like, from everything I heard, as I said, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it seemed very forced. And like, I feel like before, when you listen to his press conferences, like he put thought into what he was doing. Like he was really intent on getting under the guy's skin, and he would find a way. And this just felt very forced and unnatural.
Like projecting.
Yeah, maybe projecting. Yeah.
because he said like the weight cut's doing you in. You look this and that. I'm like, he looks great. He looks totally filled in. He doesn't look dehydrated. Like, what is he talking about? At least say something that's kind of accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then him talking shit about his wife or something. Like, come on, man. Like, you know, now you're searching for something. Like, maybe even projecting.
Since you've been in there with Wonder Boy, what do you think about Gilbert Burns' Wonder Boy? That's the co-main, right? Let me do.
I think it should be. Yeah, it's co-main. I think it should be an easy fight for Gilbert. Maybe not easy, but it should be. It's a very winnable. It's his fight to lose. It's up to him. I lean towards him, but if he just goes in with the wrong strategy, then Wonder Boy will be able to beat him. But I think Gilbert should be able to take him down. And of course, if he gets him down, I think it'd be a real easy night for him. But if he tries to show that he's some special striker or something, I think it'd be a pretty easy night for Wonder Boy.
Kamozi's taking Wonder Boy. A lot of people I've talked to this week are taking Wonder Boy. So I think Wonder Boy is a live dog if or the money's probably evened out by now.
What's the rationale for taking Wonder Boy? Like, Gilbert's going to shoot in, take him down, and pass his guard and submit him, or ground and pound him.
That's what I was thinking. But then let me. Yeah, I don't think Chris would mind me reading what he wrote me. I don't think he would mind because he was just on the show, and I mean, maybe I know he's trained with Wonder Boy. Maybe Wonder Boy's got a new wrinkle in the game that we don't know about. But let's see. I think also I like Gilbert. I just think he's nasty. He's aggressive. Like Wonder Boy feels like he needs this time to kind of get in range and work out openings, whereas Gilbert just fucking goes for it.
I totally agree. And that's when I talk about the game plan. That's part of strategy that I think has to be implemented against Wonder Boy. You got to be aggressive towards him. You can't play the chess match with him on the outside. I think that's where some guys have made the mistake.
So he goes, obviously Wonder Boy's my buddy. I can't bet against him. Burns is really good. I just wonder after Usman knocked him out, how his chin is. Wasn't super long ago, and he trains at a gym that it really bangs during sparring. I'll ask my buddy there now how he looks. I said, cool, let me know. He says, Wonder Boy's a sniper with striking and will definitely catch him.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's making some assumptions, though, I mean, anytime I pick a fight, unless I know the guy, I train with them, something like that, which Kamosi has, I assume that both of them are going to be at their best. I mean, that's how I have to pick the fight. So unless I got some inside info and them at their best, I think it's an easy matchup for Gilbert.
All right, I'm gonna take that into consideration when I place my bets. What about Max Griffin and Condit? I'm gonna take Max.
To be honest, I haven't watched Max, so I can't really even say, man. I just haven't watched him fight at all. I don't think.
He's tough, and I love Condit. I'm a fan there too, but yeah, I just think Max is just stronger and tougher. He just looks meaner all around, bigger. But who knows? I love a crafty vet, and I've been wrong with the crafty vets a lot.
So Condit was my last fight, and I'd say the one thing that surprised me about him in that fight was his never ever stops moving. I mean, that guy, it's not even a cardio thing so much as he just doesn't stop squirming, wriggling. There's always something that's got your mind thinking, and Max better be ready to handle that, man. That's a tough fucking thing to handle, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, the dude just doesn't fucking stop. Sometimes he's doing shit that doesn't even make any sense. like why are you even doing this? But he's still doing it, so it gets in your mind.
He's another one like you too, where I've seen him out and I'm like, oh, he's going out to rage. I almost approached him 2 different times. I've seen him out somewhere. I almost approached him and said, what's up? And was going to buy him a drink or just shoot the shit with him. But he had that look. And I was like, wait, this could be bad for me. Like, if I get stuck somewhere with this man,
That's awesome. He's a fucking cool guy, man. He's really cool.
He seems super cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I forget who I was with, and they were like, just go say what's up. And I was like, I'm not going to bother him. But you could tell, like, he was out ready to party.
Okay. He didn't recognize you, though, huh?
No, it was a dark club. It was right outside the club. And I thought, oh, maybe I didn't know if there was a fight in town or if he was training. I don't know where it was, but it was just a random, but I didn't make the approach. I don't want to be a punisher. The only MMA guy I've punished was John Jones. And it was funny because it was backstage at Prudential Center. And he goes, what are you sizing me up? He was fucking with me. I'm like, you're the last person I'd be sizing up back here. He was totally cool, though. We were talking, and he goes, so what's going on after this? He was ready to go out.
No, I bet he was. He's always ready. Hey, I respect, bro. John Jones admittedly went on a coke binge the weekend before he beat fucking Daniel Cormier. Like, that's a fucking savage motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? like I couldn't do that.
I was with Danny from Biohazard too, and he like we've been all over the world together, and we like cave people, and just people who are down for whatever. We have it's like an energy, and he saw John Jones, and I don't think he was a fan going up to that point, but then when we talked to him and stuff, he was like, yo, this guy's awesome. He's a maniac.
That's awesome. He is a fucking maniac, man. Who else is on this card? Who we got?
Oh yeah, that Kuniskaya, that she's plus 100 underdog now. Also Sean O'Malley, but he's like minus 835. That's the main card.
Yeah, he just got a late replacement.
Yeah, he's getting a sacrificial lamb, I think there.
That's what it sounds like. I never heard this dude that's fighting. So, but I got to tell you, I'm not sold on Sean O'Malley yet. He looked fucking really good his last fight. I was probably the most impressed with that one, but I'm not totally sold on him yet when he gets up in the top 10.
Ryan Hall is a live dog, I think.
Is he a dog?
Yeah, plus 180.
Against who?
Ilia Topuria.
Ryan Hall's going to fucking twist that dude up.
I think so, man. And you know who else might be a live dog here is Nico Price, plus 144.
Who's he fighting?
Michelle Pereira.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely a live dog.
Nico Price's shoulders look crazy. Yo, what is this guy? Look at that.
Dude, yeah. That dude's got the weirdest build of anybody. Fucking knocks people out from the bottom.
Yeah, he's on another level, this guy. I'm excited for it though. And anybody UFC head-to-heads, DraftKings, it's Jasta 1997. I used to have a promo code for my bookie. I don't remember it or if it's still live, but I wish I did. And Matt, thank you for the time, and I hope to see you back in the octagon soon. And we'll have you back on, before that to promote it if you want. And on Tuesday, bro, I'll tell you about the show. You have to come out.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. You know me, anytime, bro. It's one of my favorite shows. Come on, man.
I appreciate it, man. And thank you, Brian. Thank you, everybody. Jamie, Adam, everybody came over from Andy Wilson from Patreon here. And we'll be back next week with, I think we're going to do Actually, we're going to do Brent Hines from Mastodon.
So you're going to have to ask him about that shit, man.
I will. They just finished the record. I wonder if I could say that. They're just coming back from LA.
Nice. Dude. Best band ever, man, I think. Dude, I love listening to his show, too. That dude's got some crazy. He lives a fucking wild life, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, when you got 4 different songs about condors, that's just cool. I can't write about a condor. You know what I mean?
I know what a fucking condor is, but I respect it.
It's like a bird that's probably even harder than an eagle.
Is it real? Or is it like a mythological thing?
Brian,
No,
show
they're
him
extinct.
the condor. Show him how crazy a condor looks. They look. It doesn't even look real. It looks like a fucking dinosaur. And they have. I want to say they have. If they don't have 3 songs, they definitely have 4 songs about condors. And I mean, they have songs about wolves. They got songs about all cool shit that I can't do. Like if I have a song about a condor, no one's gonna fucking care about that. Look at this thing.
Oh, that is sick.
And the wingspan is like 15 feet or something.
What?
Matt, thank you so much, brother. I'll be in touch. I'm gonna text you what the tour is right now, but just don't tell anybody.
That's what's up, brother. Good to hear from you, man. Good podcast. Glad you got to have me on, man. Hit me up anytime.
Will do, man. Thanks so much. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, everybody. We'll be back next week with Kirk and Brent. Peace.